And welcome back, because we're about to hit Game 3 of our best of 3 between Phoenix1 and Echo Fox, who split the first two games as Ale, and in both of them, draft was absolutely key in how they played out.
Yeah, the draft was key in the P1 loss, and it was also key in their victory in Game 2. I think the adjustments they made were fantastic, much more explosive engage, a lot more easy, kind of obvious ways to get in. It's like, well, if you don't know exactly how to start a fight, guess what? Ash Arrow, Hecarim ulti. These are fantastic ways to do it. They gave ways in for Shen, too. They had, these tools that Darius was talking about, with the Hecarim ult in, with the, the Zero diving in. They looked really good. And, Inori and Pyrion really helped us kind of snowball the team. Pyrion carved out an advantage as far as the lane matchup went. Froggen was trying to do the roaming, and at the same time, we did see Pyrion up 10 CS at 10, 22 at 20, and he was making a lot of plays, while Froggen was not nearly as effective on the other side of the map. He was trying to roam, he was trying to make things happen, but a lot of his early roams were not really paying off, so he's spending a lot of kind of time for it, not getting anything out. He blew a flash early on, then got first blooded because of that, because he had blown that in the roam. So some of these things just did not pay off, and when it comes down to it, the Azir was just miles more effective than Talia in this game.
Yeah, Pyrion had a huge game on Azir in that mid lane, and I could see what they were trying to do, but again, whenever I see Echo Fox play without a second teleport, I'm always wondering, what are your other styles? I like that they tried something different. It's cool to see Froggen playing the new champion, but maybe if you know what works, play a little bit more. It's hard to say. You do definitely want to experiment on a stage. They had a game to give, I suppose, if nothing else, so we'll see what happens in the final game.
Also, to be fair, Ryze got taken away. He is getting focused hard in the ban phase. He could have gone to the Victor. That's something that was available that he has played a lot of. But Froggen is being targeted. He's getting triple banned out in these games, so they're trying to make him as uncomfortable as possible. And you could say perhaps it worked out in this game. It definitely wasn't all just on him by any means, though. Inori was being pretty proactive, had a very good game for himself, and they got the edge in the jungle matchup, and KFO never really got super ahead.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, with the way P1 played that game, they kind of shut down Froggen, didn't do too well, and then KFO tried to split push, really wanted to do damage, you're right, on the Jax, and just couldn't get in position. So effectively played by P1 to sort of shut down the key carries of Echo Fox. We'll see if they can unlock them in this final game here, but it's time for draft. Anivia, Ryze, and Vladimir once again banned by P1, so 3 mid lane bans. Echo Fox might also be sticking to the script with Twitch, Bard, and maybe one more.
Could be the Karma again. I mean, that's what it has been. And P1 focusing Froggen very heavily, but we even talked about it before the draft started in Game 1. His champion pool has been a question mark through a lot of the season. If you have a guy who's not willing to play something like Azir, which is considered, the kind of S-tier mid laner, or one of them, focusing him with these other picks pushes him down onto lower level champions. So or champions, even if they're not lower level, ones that you're not as comfortable on. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Some hovers coming out from P1. I'd love to see a Jace. Don't know that we will. It is something that can kind of fit the same role as a Varus, but for first pick, I'm doubting it. I think we're probably just going to see Rek'Sai once again.
And maybe take it away from Hard. So that's the option P1 have here. I assume that's what they're thinking about.
It's possible to go with something different. They want the Ashe for the engage.
That was
critical in both teams' wins. So P1 gonna first pick the Ashe. They know that it was key getting a mash on this champion, having a lot of engages coming out. It worked very well for them. It allowed them ways into the fight, clear kind of victory scenarios. And right now we have the Vi, the Shen being hovered. Don't think it's gonna be that.
No.
Soraka and the Rek'Sai are picked up here. First round once again. This is something that Fox has liked quite a bit.
Yep, Big actually likes to kind of, I think he's played a relatively small range of champions. He tends to just kind of pick whatever the best support is. He was like an early adopter of Zyra in the first few weeks of summer, and now that she's been tuned back, I think Soraka's champion seems really good with all the 6-13 changes. He's just going to take it, and Hard going to stick to his tier list as well, I suppose. I'm kind of curious to see what Echo Fox change. I think this is a good call for them to start with. But we'll see through the rest of their draft if they want to change up their style at all, or maybe go back to a bit more of what worked in Game 1. P1, though, do have some picks to make here.
They certainly do. They could go for the Hecarim once more if they want to. At the same time, there's no chance of it getting taken away, as Rek'Sai has already been locked in, so they can leave that for later in the draft if there's something they feel is more contested they want to go for. It's looking like it's going to be Braum, so same supports 3 times in a row. They're kind of trading back and forth on these other teams, and it's going to be Shen for the lock-in now, hovering the Rengar, kind of playing with us, but not going to get it, at least not yet.
I mean, would kind of fit with the whole engage thing. I think Inori, if he
Yeah.
has a chance, might even just go back to Hecarim.
Yeah.
But pretty solid pick.
My guess is it's probably going to be Hecarim.
Yep.
Works so well in game 2. You can see he's still sitting on the Ghost right now. So
Well, there's Cassio for Froggen. Didn't take it in the last game. Jin actually for Keith as well. So some changes here. But a big reaction actually came from the fact that I think Inori looks over and he says, Hecarim's still good here. A lot of early Hecarim I saw was into Cassiopeia because get on top of it doesn't really do anything.
it can be really tough if you can get that powerful engage onto Cass. But I think Cassiopeia is a great champion for Froggen. It's something that he likes to play. It's hyper scaling, farming out, mid lane, just wave clear, and then it's very powerful team fighting. So it's going to be the Azir and the Hecarim, the exact same comp actually.
Yes.
And I think this is something that we talked about at the desk, for Mark was talking about, well, do you really want to give P1 the same draft? They've played it multiple times in a row. They're looking more and more comfortable. Should you be doing this? Fox says it's okay. It's on us to play better and kind of defeat them that way. We'll see if they're able to do it. They have the gym. Now, is it going to be KFO on the Jax once more?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much the same stuff. The bans have been the same pretty much throughout the whole series. P1 are taking the exact same comp from game 2. And Echo Fox, a few changes here and there, but definitely the spirit of the picks remain the same here. I think the plan is similar to game 2 here for Echo Fox.
Certainly is. I do think it is very similar for both teams.
I mean, it's identical for Phoenix1.
I mean, P1 looked a lot better in game number 2. We'll see how effective Froggen is going to be on the Cassiopeia. That is a massive difference. We also have Keith with some longer range engage of his own on this Jhin. We'll see how that's going to work out for the team.
I like it. Keith kind of taking the other analog to Ashe here. So we'll see if Echo Fox can find a few more spots to make things happen on the map. Definitely scary though for Echo Fox. A confident move here to give P1 the same draft over again. P1, they'll happily take it. They played so well in game number 2. We'll see if they can carry that momentum through or if Echo Fox are going to change it up here and finally get a win. So you know what? Let's run it back one more time on Twitter. We need your votes. So tweet with the hashtag P1win or the hashtag FOXwin. Love to hear what you guys have to say out there in the Twitterverse. Crowd here has been very loud for Phoenix1 in particular.
Yeah, and P1 won the fan vote on Twitter as well, so have the fan support in person and online. We'll see if that remains the same or if Fox can battle back after that Game 2 loss and claim their second series victory of the season.
Well, it's funny because Fox won in Game 2 and P1 won it in Game 1. So maybe the fan vote tells us who isn't going to win. We'll find out, though. Update those votes, and we'll check them out as we move into Game 3.
So you got to go for that reverse vote.
Exactly. You got to trick him. They're going to move out onto Summoner's Rift once again. Echo Fox and Phoenix1. We're going to separate themselves, kind of unstick themselves from the bottom of the standings. It's actually a very important win for both teams, like we mentioned at the top of the series. And it has come down to the final game here. Momentum is important for both these teams. They'll be very happy to get out of last and maybe push towards that safety spot that you mentioned earlier in 7th.
Yeah.
But it does start here, and there's only one game left to play for it.
It's one of those things, you're looking at the table, it's like, okay, who can we get wins against? And the other team that's 1-9 should really be the top of that list, right? This should be the team that if you think you're on an upswing, if you think you're improving, can start picking up wins. This should be where you start to do it.
Well, everyone's just going to move out once again here. Could have standard lanes like we did in Game 2, but an effective lane swap by Fox in Game 1 might dictate that that's where they want to go.
Yeah, Fox looking like they're the ones initiating the lane swap. Whether this is trying to make the call and match up, or if they think that they just do not want this 2v2, remains to be seen. Either way, they're going to be in the top lane. Dual lanes will not be matching up, so we're going to have a lane swap once more.
Well, no Sivir this time around.
Yeah.
But Jhin and Ashe probably just fine there as far as the pushing goes. We saw KFO was able to get a very nice lead when Echo Fox were able to play a little slower in Game 1 and sort of collect their farm.
It was also off the lane swap. In Game 2, things went a lot worse for Fox in standard lanes. P1 played that lane swap kind of a bit incorrectly, not as optimally as Fox did the first time around, and they were able to get KFO a lead off that. So this may be why they're initiating it, thinking that they can just play this lane swap out better.
Curious to see if they have adjustments to the lane swap, given that's exactly where we are right now for this game. Big going to peek his head in, doesn't see anyone around the blue buff. Actually already took the Gromp and bailed out of that side of the jungle. So bit of a steal away there for P1, getting a weak side jungle camp. But other than that, we'll see Pyrian and Froggen match up again. Pyrian had a great lane and then a greater game. Mash not going to get stunned. Very cheeky from KFO.
Yeah, Hard actually taking a lot of damage. Ignite getting thrown down there by Gate. gets the flash out of the Rek'Sai here.
And
that is
the
pretty...
scariest gank of all time. Big.
Got him.
Steals his money and leaves. Good juke there from Zig. Does get out from under the deadly flourish. Lots of support activity early on, actually.
Yeah, kind of an interesting little lane swap. Because the supports were moving around, the top laners were able to stay in lane much longer, picking up more experience as a result. Now we have KFO TPing in. This is probably Zig's cue to leave. We'll see, though. He's actually still staying here, trying to get XP.
Been around for a little longer, but not going to get dove just yet. Now he'll be forced back off the wave, but does have teleport to join. Hit level 2, but so did KFO, so nothing too crazy there. And I think they're pinging for Zig to maybe TP down. Does now commit the summoner, and we'll just have the lane swap trade again. Like we said, Phoenix1 did fall a little behind on pace in the game 1 lane swap. We'll see if they've cleaned things up just a bit here in the last game as lane swap Cam back ready to go.
Their top laner moves quite a bit later.
Yep.
So that is one of the things where their turret is going to go down later once again. And ooh,
Free flash.
Yeah.
Pyrian forced to burn it there. Hard came in. A little too much worry there. Rek'Sai did not have flash, so Hard couldn't really commit to it, but Pyrian plays it safe. As KFO is going to go ahead and take that top tower, collect the gold for himself, and Zig will do the same here again. But Echo Fox a little further ahead as far as overall pace goes, but not too far behind this go around for Phoenix1.
Yeah, and we'll see how the waves do end up bouncing, who's going to kind of get that better reset. It looks like P1 is actually going to do a better job as far as bouncing the wave, so that is pretty nice for them. But it's going to come down to how much this kind of bot lane duo can get done in the following minutes.
Well, right now we just had Pyrian farming away in mid. Froggen actually with a little CS lead. Dips away, wards up, and now going to go back to pressuring in. Cassio definitely can be a bully. Froggen playing up nice and aggressive, but no jungle attention this time from Inori. As we do see Echo Fox barely winning the fan vote this time around.
Swinging back.
And the P1 fans go crazy because they know what happened last time.
Yep. So Inori so far just kind of power farming it out. Does already have his early Lucidities. That's his very first buy. Wants to have that super low ghost cooldown. I like it. And that grounding is so annoying for Period. He can't just kind of zip out of there. As soon as you get hit by that, you can't use any move blocks.
Yep, so can't EQ away, which means Froggen gets damage in. You kind of force the trade, and that's a very happy place for Cassiopeia to be. So Froggen does need some mana back. We'll get some back as he kind of moves through the rest of the lane. Froggen playing it well so far. Does have the Ignite versus Exhaust there for Pyrian, so potential kill pressure for Froggen, particularly if Hard comes for another revisit.
Yeah, and here he is. Speak of the devil, Hard is coming back in. There's no flash here on Pyrian. What can they get done?
Oh, zips away. No miasma to sort of start that off, and Hard again with no flash. Got burnt early thanks to Gate's jungle pressure.
Yeah, Gate actually probably saved his team first blood, to be honest, with how close that was. And
ooh,
Nori now zips in and forces out the flash with the early ghost. He's going to have that back up pretty quickly, and perhaps we'll see a repeat of game 2 where he tries to return as soon as he hits level 6.
Yeah, once again dips in at level 5 and forces Froggen to burn a summoner spell. Does have those early cooldown boots up as well, so Ghost is up even faster than before. Turret swaps are happening though. Echo Fox take one in bottom side, Phoenix1 about to collect one in top. And again, Echo Fox are a little further ahead on the lane top. It's probably similar timing to game 1, so we'll see if they can get a similar lead here. In fact, KFO's got the exact same components he had last time. We'll see if Phoenix1 adjust at this point, because this is the important part. KFO just got too far ahead in the lane swap earlier on. We'll see if Phoenix1 can make sure they protect Zig's lane for a little longer.
Yeah. The wave is pushing towards KFO. He's going to try to pick up as much farm as he possibly can here. We'll see what he's able to do. At the same time, Zig is basically in the same spot. He wants to try to collect farm, have this wave pushing towards him, but it looks like, once again, he has to bail out faster because his team was slower on the swap. So KFO already up a level now. He's picked up more farm, and it's looking like a little bit of a repeat, although it's a different comp, so it's not as big of a deal. There's not as much to be worried about just yet because they have more ways in, and it wasn't like Fox just went off the lane swap.
Yep. Good to point out, but KFO where he wants to be. Froggen also farming up, so the carriers of Echo Fox in a good place here for at least for the first 7 minutes. P1 though, still playing proactively, and Ori does have level 6. Actually looked for bottom lane, but KFO was able to get out from under that with no additional help from Inori. Instead, He'll transfer some power into this Grump and try and steal away a camp from Echo Fox.
Yeah, they want to pick up the blue here as it spawns too. Moving in right on time. Going to try to steal this away from Froggen. That's key to keep that blue buff away from Cassiopeia.
Well, I like it here. Nori already burnt his smite, but Cassiopeia actually can't make it over. Empyrean going to get a buff donation here, which is very nice for him early on. Echo Fox, though, trying to trade for turret pressure, as they will try and take this down. Zig doing what he can to stay in experience range at least.
He's clearing out some minions, picking up a CS here or there, and you know they are going to have the ability to steal back the blue, but it's looking like they're just going to take the turret straight up. At the same time, P1 has a big push going on for them, but they're going to be able to pick up a turret of their own, just a little bit slower once again.
Yeah. Does have ulti, but doesn't want to commit. A little too much damage here for Phoenix1, so actually pretty good timing there on another trade. Is 6 turrets total of fallen, 3 apiece as Froggen eventually gets his blue buff, able to steal away P1. So we've really split the map for the first 8 minutes. P1 going to shove this wave in as KFL farm out what he can, but awfully long lanes to try and fight him for these top laners.
Big wave for KFO to pick up. Things pretty even across the board though. 100 gold up here for P1. But it's very, very close.
Oh, this is brutal. Match is level 6.
Oh.
Arrow does land, but Froggen's too far back.
Yeah. They wanted to get this rocket there, I think, try to get a quick dive and kill onto him. At the same time, had they executed that dive, it may have gone bad with Froggen there and Keith.
Well, play it safe at least, but Mash starting to hit a few more arrows, which is always good to see.
Yep.
And again, P1 not afraid to use the engage. That's probably the best thing about Ash Arrow is that it's a great engage tool, but it's non-committal CC. You hit it, you do not have to go in, but it sets up for you so well.
Yeah, and Nori sitting on that ultimate has it available. We'll see when he's going to pull the trigger on that. As Zig hits level 6, they're going to have that combo for themselves, and Fox goes straight for Rift Herald. KFO moving up, probably wants to try to pick up this buff, but P1 spots it.
He's got a long way to run, actually. They are going to get the buff, but I don't know if they can actually get them over. Pyrian ulti by Froggen as he's trying to catch him in transition, but KFO, I believe, will be denied the Rift Herald. In fact, Keith now caught out of position, going to have to flash his way over. He was the one that got the buff. Better than nothing, but does not go to KFO.
Yeah, not who they wanted it on. Either way, still going to get a little bit of gold for the team. Take that buff away. It's not on KFO, but at least it's not on Zig.
Well, P1 actually doing, I'd say, a much better job of being proactive around Echo Fox's jungle. They disrupt the Rift Herald. They've been taking buffs away. Yeah, Echo Fox have been trading, but P1, I think, just a little bit more pep in their step every single game they've played so far. And look at Mash and Gate playing up, and Nori here behind as well, in case they want to get aggressive. And that looks like a real low-level Soraka. Big is a juicy target right now for Phoenix1.
So is Keith. I mean, this is a flashless Jhin against a really heavy engage. Hecarim, Shen, if they want to try to pull off this dive, something they could go for. We'll see if they're going to try to make that call or not.
We could have shoved the wave in, but Hard is here actually as well.
Yeah.
So could be tricky. Wave's not too bad for diving with, but I might just give it up here as Keith should be able to clear that out.
Risky.
Yeah, Nori's like, no. Don't want to commit.
Yeah, it could go bad for them.
Would likely go bad, I'd say.
Probably pretty likely.
So,
unless they could really kill someone fast. So Soraka there and the exhaust, it's tough to kind of guarantee that you're going to be able to do that. Either way, rotating now towards mid lane, looking to see if they can kind of catch someone here as they move up. You know, Mash with that ulti available. It's this 3-man squad looking to catch someone out. And do they spot Jhin?
it's a good squad, and there is Keith spotted out, but Pink Ward's getting cleared. Lots of Pink Wards actually here for Phoenix1 controlling this side. KFO with just a phage, despite the fact that Zig does actually have some armor built up. Getting good chunks out there with the Empower. But KFO not really able to threaten Zig too much at this point, although he does have a CS lead right now, which is nice.
Yeah, Zig will catch some of that back up, but he will still be down a little bit. Either way, you know, Jax does some nice mix damage. It is able to kind of put out a lot of pressure onto the Shen. And Zig going to be looking for that first ultimate. He's sitting on level 6. Still haven't seen that displayed. And a lot of the game really does kind of hinge on these early plays from the Hecarim, from the Shen. They want to start to snowball and get ahead through use of their ultimates, through being proactive. We'll see if they can...
Oh,
nice
Froggen! Arrow to the face, he got baited in, Pyrian on low, and Honori's going to try and take him out. Looks like the first blood does go to Gate. And now Phoenix getting chased down. Yeah, puts the silence field down. Gate gets snared up as he leaps towards it, but P1 can keep going here.
Jhin ulti opening up. Here comes Hard. Pyrian's very low.
Knocks up Gate. Damage is still there, looking for the last snipe on Pyrian, but they're going to protect him. They just have to wait it out. Making sure they defend it, and there's Inori. Tanks the last bullet. Deadly Flourish hits Gate, but no follow-up there.
Yeah, pretty funny little scenario. They pick up the first blood. Braum not who you wanted on, but they'll take it. Froggen goes down. Nice move from P1.
Really nice arrow there from Mash. Froggen thought he had the 1v1, and he probably did if it stayed a 1v1. Mash ruins the party, and Phoenix1 do some damage to the turret as well. So off to another good start using that engage very nicely once again. But I think more than anything, being even more active than they were in game 2. They felt a little gun shy, kind of waiting for the right spots. Now they're much more willing to get things started. Although Echo Fox entering back here, going to take away the Cloud Drake for themselves.
They will get that. That's going to be very nice. Always good to have that extra movement speed, especially as a split pusher like Jax, allowing you to kind of chase people down and kind of make some of those daring escapes a little bit more quickly.
Imagine if you had it in the lost games. Would have been even easier, but has it now. Better late than never, I suppose.
One thing worth pointing out, too, is P1's done such a better job with vision this time around. Look at all the pink wards on the top side of the map. This is kind of giving them priority up here. They actually have 4 pink wards if you, well, okay, one just died, but between the river and the top side jungle. So they've really done a good job with the vision, and they're looking for a face check on KFO.
KFO definitely spotted hard, though. Going to provide the assist as he leaps his way to safety. Fox didn't just start clearing this vision out, though, and they have not walked through these brushes in a while. Just a little too scary to try and face check P1. And Inori continuing to kind of run over at least the red side of Echo Fox's jungle.
Yeah. Has been losing those smite fights against Hard, though, so although he's kind of being annoying, he's not really taking a ton away just yet. Froggen looking to pick himself up a blue. The first one was denied. Going to be happy to grab this. We have Zig pushing in the bot lane, and KFO or Froggen going to move over and try to pick that up at the same time. With those Lucidities, Ghost available, Hecarim ult available. We still have that Shen ulti, so P1 needs to continue making plays. When the cooldowns come up, look for a pick.
Yep, and they've got the ultimates almost already. In fact, they do already, as you just mentioned.
Ash is coming over, so they're probably going to look for it here.
I like it. Looking to try and siege up mid lane. There's the arrow already. Lands on it, does hit Keith. There's the ulti combo. Imperium's going to follow through, and Inori also gets in there. Keith goes down. Gate's low, but he flashes out to safety. Summoner Hill going to get popped, and Phoenix1 get another kill.
One shot, one kill. Mash is going to snipe out Keith, and he did have the flash, but no time to react there. Knew he was going to go down. Good follow-up after the initial CC does land. Flash ult from Braum. We have the Ghost in and the ult from Hecarim. The ult from Pyrion. There's just nothing that Keith can do at that point, so he's going to get taken down. Good job by P1. Want to see them continuing to push for the objectives, though, after they get these kills.
No conversion, because they threw everything at Keith under this turret. Here comes the freight train.
And here is the initial arrow. Right away, Braum is there. Ulti gets knocked up again. In comes the Hecarim, and a lot of damage there. I think they could have maybe stuck around and tried to do something with that 5v4. No AD carry available, and it was only their support that was low.
Well, instead, they'll just take their kill and leave it for now. It does mean Echo Fox not really too far behind. 2 kills and 2,000 gold up for Phoenix1 is all of the advantage right now, and Fox do hold the first Drake, so things looking just fine. Certainly within reach here.
Yeah.
Echo Fox, more than I would say, and Froggen is still back to his old tricks in the bottom lane, collecting the side lane farm as he can, but he's got a pretty good scaling champion, so I can understand why he wants the farm.
Yeah, he's up quite a bit of CS. They're only down 700 gold right now. It's not a big deal, so especially when you consider one of those is first blood for the kills, so they're doing well for themselves. Definitely going to have a strong scaling composition, and that's why P1 needs to stay proactive. But not only do they need the kills, they need to convert on objectives afterwards. That's what they're lacking right now. Echo Fox moving down, looking for the dive onto Zig. Are they going to be able to catch him?
Oh, hard chasing in. Froggen there with a good damage. He has the Rylers already, and Zig, I'm not sure he can get out of this too much, and he is going to go down. Froggen collects his first kill.
The Rylers from Froggen is just too much, and Zig honestly needed to flash earlier. He actually got clipped by the knockup from Hard. Had he flashed really early and taunted, maybe could have got out. At least bought a bit more time. Either way, he's going to go down. It will be the top turret for P1, though. Can they get bot to actually defend that? And we'll see what else KFO can do.
Pyrion getting ulti, but gets out of the way. Last bullet. Doesn't even bother. Throws it down mid lane, I think, for a bit of extra wave clear.
Oh, that was close.
Keith lives this time around, but really, Mash has just been on point with the arrows this particular game. Froggen, though, is going to be working on this bottom turret, so it could be 4 turrets to 4, and Zig is maybe just in time to save it, but I think Froggen needs one more snake. There we go, does take it down.
The question is, does he get out? Okay, never mind. P1's not going to decide to make the collapse.
They want mid.
Yep, they're going to be pushing hard for mid lane here, and this is a Keith that has no mana. They do not have a lot of wave clear whatsoever. They can actually just push for this turret, and they're going to get it. At the same time, Froggen fighting onto Zig here.
He ulted.
Zig's going to die.
He's chasing, but the Ryler's isn't enough. Poison burns him down, and Froggen gets a 1v1 kill.
Zig just not respecting the damage here from Cass, and that is a big mistake. Dying again in the 1v1. He opts into it. They should be able to clean up Froggen, though. We'll see if he can make an outplay.
Nori's speedy enough, but Froggen's got very little mana to play with. Gate's low, but I don't think it's enough. The stun's going to land in. Nori able to chase him. Froggen, he just kind of knows what's up. Not going to burn the summoner. Is going to go down to Nori.
P1 strikes back. Good job by them. But a lot of gold on Froggen. Had picked up 2 kills there. A ton of farm, as well as the turret. He is going to be scaling very, very hard. They're going to have to be scared of this Cass, and we need to see more respect coming out of Zig. You know, a champion who he had no MR on, essentially. You're going up against the Cass. He has the Rylai's. You can't actually really escape.
Well, certainly not when there's no turrets really in that bottom lane. Although P1 finally cracked mid lane as well, so a lead formed from some of their aggression as they're able to take a turret lead, 5-4, and a crucial one at that as they blow open the center of the map. Infernal Drake also up in 20 seconds, so Phoenix1 looking to make a play around that area.
They're prepping the vision right now, clearing out as many wards as possible. They want to get deep vision and try to take this out. Mash going to spot out hard there. The blue buff is spawning. They may want to try to grab that too. Once again, though, Nori having a great game for himself here. And he's going to swap to the warding totem instead of going for Chilling Smite and a Sight Stone. I actually like this more because I think getting to the Trinity Force earlier is very important. So I like the adaptation. We'll see how it pays off.
Well, blue buff stolen away, I believe, by Pyrian. I think he got it, although maybe a Nori smited it away because he's wearing one right now. Yep. Still a takeaway from Froggen, which is the most important thing versus the Cassiopeia. And Infernal Drake is ready to go. Arrow not going to hit Keith, but he's taking damage still. Nori looking for it. Great silence there from Big, keeps him safe. Gate locked up there in the snare, but he'll be okay. KFO trying to cause pressure top lane, but Zig's there to meet him, and P1 now around the dragon area.
Yeah, they gotta be careful here. Nori still has the ultimate explosive engage from P1. They gotta respect it, and P1 does not care if they really kill someone here. They just need to push them off and allow themselves to get the Infernal Dragon. At the same time, Fox just wants to delay, allow KFO his time to kind of shine here in this 1v1 matchup.
Well, just could have had some space perhaps, but Zig just gonna take out what he can. He's still sitting mid, but it's been really unsafe, actually, for him to try and take some things down.
Yeah.
As a result, though, Phoenix1 are going to go ahead and take this Infernal Drake. And that goes over. First Drake for them of the game. Pretty good one to get.
No kidding. It's an important one, definitely. And hard, kind of snaking his way around here, looking to see if there's anything he can do, clearing out some vision. Froggen in the bot lane once again on that split push duty, but look at the 2 squad moving down there. We do see actually Mash kind of pulling back in a base.
I mean, I feel like Nori, with Zig just ulting in, can maybe even do it himself. So Froggen knows it's not that safe to be there. So he's going to clear the way for him back up. He is getting a lot of farm still. It'll be massive as the game continues, but it's not like Pyrian's going to get massively outscaled, if at all. Yeah, got some big damage mid laners right now this game.
Froggen is going to be very powerful, but at the same time, this is an extremely dangerous champion to be split pushing on it. And like you said, sure, he's great in the team fights, but if you get picked off in a side lane, you can cost your team the game. So he'll have to be wary of that. Baron, always a risk. It's very early now, but with these 2 mid laners, they're 2 of the very best at killing the Baron exceptionally fast. Cassiopeia and Azir slaughter the Baron, especially when you add in champions like Jax, so they're going to have to be aware of it. You always have to have an eye on the Baron and be wary for those sneak plays.
I mean, kind of are just waiting for this game to open up a little wider either way. P1 still up about 2,000 gold, although Echo Fox are keeping it just under at this stage. Once again, though, aggressively moving through the Echo Fox jungle. KFO trying to cause problems in the bottom lane once more, but P1 sticking together, and if they find a pick, look for them to try and convert on those objectives. Zig happy to shadow KFO for now. Echo Fox seems like they're playing on the back foot a little bit because they just don't have nearly as many tools to get aggressive with. They need to play the macro game that they showed us in game 1.
Yep. At the same time, KFO scaling up, has a red buff, Trinity Force completed. He's going for the same build once again, building into the Spirit Visage, so kind of favoring that more tanky build before he goes into the Blade of the Rune King. We'll see.
Turret again set up though from Pyrian. So a bit of a siege started now for Phoenix1. looking to try and get mid-pressure happening. Again, going to duck back into Fog of War, get some vision. Hawk shot away, still great vision on the red side of Echo Fox's jungle, so anyone moving through unnecessarily probably going to get themselves an arrow to the knee, and then an instant ult from Hecarim should convert into a kill. But again, Phoenix1 not being as proactive as they maybe could be with all their engaged tools, but making sure they pick the right spot here. And they are playing the sideways pretty well. Good wave built up in top lane means that Echo Fox kind of getting run around a bit.
They are being a little bit less proactive, but at the same time, it's a bit of a nod to the draft from Fox, who has a lot of counter engage. If you ult in there and Froggen lands a massive ulti on your team, you're going to get popped. Keith also has fantastic counter engage with the Jhin, and they're two-manning Baron. I talked about how good the Azir is at doing this, and Fox doesn't seem to actually know it just yet. Now they're going to be getting a hint of that.
Oh,
we'll see if they can finish. I don't think they can.
Took too much damage.
Yeah, they got to get out.
Yep, Jhin ulti going to cover 2 shots there, and then Keith's going to save the rest of the cooldown on the ultimate. Love the play there from Phoenix1. I talked about it. You know, not that proactive, then immediately make me look like a liar. Straight to that Baron with an aggressive call. Echo Fox, though, do respond appropriately, so we'll reset once again. This game still bounced awfully close.
Definitely a close call there. A couple more seconds, and they would have had it, which would have been massive for the team. So worth the risk. Doesn't pay off, but they don't lose much besides a little bit of pressure. So they're going to be okay with it. And at the same time, Zig is holding on just fine here. There's really no vision for KFO. If you look at the bot side jungle, there's actually nothing. So he can't really aggressively fight at all against Zig until he gets vision of where the other team is. Not knowing where Nori is, if you start fighting, you may have a Hecarim running you down very quickly.
And unlike the last game 1, sorry, where they were able to effectively 1-3-1, sure they don't have the other one, Froggen without TP has to group with his team more,
Yeah.
but there's not nearly the same additional pressure for KFO to open up space, and he's gotten a good little farm lead. He's 2 items now, so he's only getting stronger, but it feels like the execution is just not nearly as crisp as it was in the first game where Echo Fox were able to really unlock KFO and just let him run wild.
As you said, it was that 2-piece thing where, you know, Froggen getting a lot of work done in the side lanes. And although Froggen, I think, could win 1v1 versus pretty much everyone on P1, just putting yourself in the side lane without TP and without much of an escape on Cass is extremely dangerous. So that's the reason you can't really afford to do it. KFO, though, pushing it in the bot lane. P1 posturing around Baron, looking for a pick or to kind of just go for that Baron. But Fox has this ward in the river, so they know they haven't walked over it and aren't in the pit.
Well, the jungle is just way too dark right now for Echo Fox. P1 continuing to keep up their good vision. They just need one mistake for this Baron to push through, and then Phoenix1 can really open themselves up a big lead in this game. Echo Fox, though, not taking the bait just yet, playing awfully safe.
They can find this one ward, and Keith's not going to walk over it. That's the key one that's actually keeping Echo Fox safe. P1 don't know where it is. Ulti going to be popped here from Jhin. We'll see if they go for the engage.
Yep.
Tyrion's on the side.
Slow him down. Oh, Mash almost ate another bullet. Again, covering. Oh, gets Gate there. Good crit, but not enough to take it anyone. But Echo Fox are going to zone them off, get themselves some priority around this
coming
tower.
in, but Tyrion got rooted.
Yeah, Gate ulti doesn't quite hit either.
That was such a good root from Keith. Very important. Actually stopped the hard engage they were looking for because Nori got rooted up on his Ghost with the Shen ulting in. So you waste the Ghost, you waste the Shen ult, means they're probably going to get the mid lane turret for free. That was key from Keith.
Oh, great zoning here from Echo Fox. Their siege actually pretty good looking in that particular encounter. They'll break open mid, they'll equalize the turrets back up, and KFO going to steal a red buff away for his trouble as well. That's one global down for Zig, but not for too much longer. Echo Fox making some good traction here. They're going to take away Ocean Drake for themselves as well.
Always a nice one to have, especially with Soraka teams. You'd love to have that, and it can't be underestimated even on KFO. Sure, he doesn't really need the health, but the mana is actually pretty important. When you're out of the base split pushing for quite a while, you spend a lot of mana just clearing out these minions, and as you can see, he's getting pretty low. This Ocean Drake is going to be pretty impactful in clearing that up because Zig's never really able to go on him, but the same one, Tyrion and Nori starting up the Baron once more. I think Fox is aware of it. Will they commit?
Yep, they pop a blue trinket in the back. Hard finally going to get stunned.
Got to go for a steal. They're committing.
Yep, Hard's going in for it. They actually are going, but no, Puri going to try and keep him out. They do it with the ulti, and there it is. P1 pick up the Baron, and Hard going to try and get out to safety, but Nori's going to pop the ulti. Hard, though, able to buffer a tunnel and get his way out. Now Keith looking to chase. Froggen wants it in there as well, but they're a little too quick. Phoenix1, can they get out? Oh, Gate now slowed by the shots from Jhin, and Nori getting slowed as well. Great ulti there from Keith. They need one more, though. Does land in onto
He can
Gate,
jump
but
to Inori. He should be fine. He can W to him very soon. Yep, and he's out. And they have held in the bot lane because Mash based and was able to assist Zig. Great play from P1. Excellent stuff from Pyrian as well. Using the ult to reject hard. Trying to come into that pit. They knew they were going to make it. They commit to the Baron. They zone him out with the Ashe ulti, with the Azir ulti. Great stuff from P1, and they make the escape too. Now it's time to see what they can convert off of this Baron kill. Yeah. And Froggen may have been spotted here. He could get chased down.
And Nori does not have Ghost, actually. Doesn't have ulti either. Almost about to come up, but Froggen able to get out to safety. Flashes out of the way of another Mash arrow. Must have heard me in game 2 talk about him, because he's been real good looking against some of these immobile carries from Echo Fox.
Good flash from Froggen, but that's an Ashe arrow for a flash. That's a trade that is so good. It's also very important because Froggen's way into the fight a lot of the time is you actually pre-buffer your ulti, you cast your ulti first, then you flash. It instantly goes off as you arrive, giving your opponents no time to react. Without that, it's one of the most powerful tools that Cass has off the table.
And that's bad news for Echo Fox, who are now going to have to face this Baron Empowered Seed from P1.
He also has to watch out for the Hecarim Shen engage. This is a flashless Cassiopeia who could get popped very quickly, but Fox here to defend, and they want to do so aggressively.
Yeah, it's not that safe for Echo Fox to clear these waves, but they do have to clear them. Froggen trying to get that Baron Cannon down. A little bit of damage there from Keith as well, but still alive. Pro Seeker blocked. I like it. Protecting their cannon. But the poison should be enough for that one, but P1 not done yet. Going to keep sieging up, and
Fox is getting some good poke, though, and they do have the Soraka, so if they can continue to chip away at the opponent's health bars, that's actually more important than the minions in a lot of cases. That's how you stop the Baron sieges. You get the champions low, not so much the minions. So we'll see if they can do it, but right now, Shen has been pushing in the bot wave. P1 want to make the rotation down there and try to siege the inhibitor turret. That's what's getting pinged. At the same time, they're just kind of running back and forth, making Fox guess. They're denying the vision with the offensive ping wards. Fox are going to get caught, but not that big of a deal getting caught by that arrow.
Yeah, not a juicy target, but tower is going to go down. Phoenix1 able to take the 6th turret of the game, now getting closer to breaking open a point in the base. A huge stack of minions in top lane as well.
And they can keep making the rotations. They've done a great job prepping these waves. Now up goes Inori. He can buff it up. They can push that in at the same time. Shen is pushing in the bot wave. They still have pressure in the mid lane, and they're always making the rotations first, making it very scary for Fox to move around in their own jungle because it's so dark.
Well, I have P1 going next, though. Didn't quite coast the rest of the wave in, but it's still doing good damage. Inori again going to babysit it with his Baron buff as best he can.
Yep, just allowing more time for his team to move back to mid lane, making it tough for Keith to clear that out. Now he's going to push in. Froggen has to move up top because he can't deal with this. And we'll see if KFO can actually chase down Zig. At the same time, KFO has to peel back. He sees that the team is missing. He knows he could be in trouble here. Will they be able to run him down? They're going to commit to it, it looks like.
KFO going for maybe another heroic moment. Going to try and 1v1 Zig, but Mash is coming down. Gate's going to be here as well. KFO doesn't really have anywhere to run to, but Hard's going to try and run interference. Arrow nails him in the face, though, and KFO leaps away. But that's an easy kill for P1.
Great job by P1. KFO is trying to do what he can, buy time, exploit his 1v1 advantage, but it's not a fair fight. The team is rotating down. He needed to get it out of there earlier. Ashe arrow gets nailed again by Mash. He's doing such a good job with it. And KFO goes down.
And gold lead's starting to grow.
Oh, yeah.
P1 now up almost 5,000 gold. It was like 1,500 almost when that Baron went down. So P1 have been able to convert quite nicely. Don't break those inhib turrets, so don't have that avenue of attack available to them just yet. But I think did good damage with that Baron. And Infernal Drake's up next as we're going to watch KFO's Wild Ride once more.
Yeah, it's all outers down, and KFO, he knows he needs to make something happen. He's kind of their advantage in the side wave. This is kind of how you get back into these games, but Zig just playing it smart. He doesn't need to win the fight. He just needs to extend the fight, and that's exactly what he's doing. So KFO at this point is saying, okay, I can't kill him. I'm going to try to cut the wave, delay as much time. His plan is basically clear out the minion wave, make it so they can't push, and then he escapes. That's what he's thinking he's going to be able to do, but it doesn't work out that way because the taunt gets nailed. That sets up the free arrow. That's going to land here as well. No chance to survive there for KFO.
Finally goes down. He's had so many great moments already in the series, but wasn't able to magic his way out of that one. Baron buff has dropped off of P1 as well, but Infernal Drake's up in 10 seconds. Hard looking for a flank on Rek'Sai. Is a touch ambitious. P1, they're just ready to chase him down. They'll kill him if they get a chance.
We
They actually stunned him up.
And he's knocked out of his tunnel there, actually.
One more hit. There's the ulti committed. They're going to try and take him out. Hard just melts actually under the damage.
Such a good job by Inori. He uses the E, actually interrupts the tunneling there, so Hard is not able to escape. And they nail Frost.
Ooh, very nice Mikhails from Big.
Still another cooldown gone. Hecarim ulti still available. These are some very susceptible carries. Inori is threatening the dive here, allowing them time, and Keith is getting low. Wow.
Pyrian just does disgusting damage right now. This KFO, he was running all the way bottom, but Zig able to catch him.
Yeah.
Still has those 2 globals to 1. KFO has to run.
So much armor. I mean, he's completed the randoms. He's building towards either, you know, like it could be a Thornmail, could even be the GA. Either way, he's so tanky.
And there's the inhib turret, finally broken in mid lane. So access now ready. Phoenix1 to want to try and take that down. Crowd's starting to get a little louder here in the battle theater. Is Infernal Drake going to be the next target? Double Infernal's not bad. P1 going to try and pad that lead.
Not at all with the Azir getting big. 3 items already completed. I will take that second Infernal. Thank you very much. Pyrian was a monster for the team last game and is shaping up to be just as much of a force in this one.
And it feels like P1 have kind of figured out Echo Fox as this series has gone on. Shen's been a great counter pick to a lot of what KFO has been trying to do on the Jax. And even though game 1 didn't work out, another flash forced out. Mash just picking up freebies all day long.
I love how often he's throwing out the ult. So many players are like, ooh, gotta wait for that perfect ulti, gotta wait for that perfect ulti, and they never use it. They just end up putting themselves in these situations where they're not converting nearly as much as they could be. Mash is always throwing it out, looking for the opportunities. It doesn't matter if you get a kill, you can get summoners, and it's the opportunity cost is very low on using this. Look how fast the ult is coming back up. It's already over halfway up.
And that flash will be quite a significant portion longer. Not even level 3 either, so Mash actually going to get an additional bump to his cooldown. Got a lot of CDR built into the build as well. So things all good there. Frog in trouble. Nori going to ride in. That looks like a kill, but the ulti's out from Frog and trying to defend himself. Keto, the next target. Matt finally takes him out. And Pyrian goes in with a huge scoop. A triple kill for Ashe, and that's 3 zip.
This could be it. They're looking to maybe try to push down mid. We'll see if they can end. There's a lot of armor here onto Zig. He can try to go for it. And yes, they know they're going for the end. KFO is basing, but will he be in time? Zig wants to tank up the turrets. He's doing just that, and they're going for the end.
They're going to look for it. KFO finally makes his way back in, but I don't think they can stop this. KFO gets exhausted. Going to try and stun Apu can, but he's finally been stunned. He will get taken out. Mash now on a rampage, and that is game. Phoenix1 will take it 2-1 versus Echo Fox.
Pyrian with the massive ulti there cleans up the fight. Coming up huge in game 2, huge in game 3. And wow, that has got to feel good for P1. They lose game 1, but they take 2 and 3. Reverse sweep complete for the team. And they get their second win. They're on a win streak, baby.
And that's starting to become Phoenix1's MO, as that crowd is amazing.
Yeah.
P1 fans rejoicing everywhere. Rip out the gift, boys. Get it out on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, it's the best thing ever. It'll be everywhere, I'm sure, after another great win. Unfortunately for Echo Fox, it seems like they're just a little too late to the party every time. Game 1 always looks so good when they've been able to pick up their wins, but converting in a series has been difficult for them.
Fox struggled to make the adjustments. You know, P1 changed up the draft. They had something that really worked for them. As soon as Froggen lost the rise, as soon as he lost the ability to split push, Fox looked pretty lost. They give him the exact same draft they lost to in game 2, kind of expecting a different result. It does not work out that way. P1's able to execute. Great engage from Mash, from Inori, and a lot of players really did shine through for Phoenix1 in this series. It's hard to say, you know, like who's the player of the game this series when Mash played so well. Pyrian with incredible plays, very consistent in the mid lane, and Inori was the catalyst to so much of it.
Yeah, Inori's Hecarim is, I mean, we talked about needing engageables from a different position. They kind of just took all the engage this time around. Inori's Hecarim, very impressive. One of the few players that's playing in the LCS, I believe, but to making it work. And I mean, the worry for Echo Fox is that you give them the same comp again, they win with it. Not only did they win with it, they looked even better than they did in the game before.
They looked way better. They're just cleaning up on it. You know, they talked about it at the desk. Well, you give them the same thing, they get more comfortable, they make the adjustments, and Echo Fox is not making adjustments. They're kind of just feeling like they're doing very much the same things over and over. KFO, on the Jax 3 times in a row. Yes, it worked out great in game 1, but like you had said earlier, a lot of that was because Froggen unlocked him by having the other split push threat, and they never had that in game 2. They never had that in game 3.
Yeah, Froggen, again, without teleport, I feel like Echo Fox, without double TP, I should say, Echo Fox do struggle to play around the map a bit. I think in general, like, the bottom lane looking a little better. Big Soraka actually had a lot of good moments, even Hard's cleaning up on the Rex side. Like, you can see it there for Echo Fox, but it is absolutely more about those best-of-3 adjustments. And Echo Fox may go down as a summer split team that would have been the best best-of-1 team ever if we kept it at best-of-1.
Yeah, best-of-1s. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, they would have upset TSM if we were still in best-of-1. That would have been a huge win for them.
There you go. And it's one of those things that can give you a lot of confidence, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be a mental block when you keep losing these series. You win the first game, and then you're like, oh, but all those other times. So it can really get in your head a lot, and maybe seeing a little bit of that coming into play.
Maybe, but following Phoenix1 series winner, we've prepared a side stage interview with the victorious jungler, so let's hand it off to Dom Roma for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I am joined by Inori. First of all, congratulations on that win, a 2-1, your second victory for Phoenix1. Climbing the ranks, how does it feel?
It feels pretty good. Like, we kind of said, like, this is our new split because it's, like, halfway through. So to start 2-0, it actually feels so good for us.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit more about this, like, new split sort of mentality, obviously you weren't on the roster for the first few weeks, and you had to sit back and watch Phoenix1 go through these struggles. What's that been like for you, knowing that you could practice with the team, but you just couldn't play with them?
Like, it was actually really hard, and, like, I really wanted to play. Like, we were going to, like, week 2 thinking I was going to play. But then, like, a bunch of stuff happened. I had to watch, like, our sub-jungler play. It was Sentinel. I tried to teach him as much as I could, but it was, like, his new split, so it didn't turn out too well. I'm just glad we were able to get our V's problem sorted out. I'm just sad it happened late, but I hope we can restart this split.
Yeah, well, you're off to a good start so far. Obviously, the victory last week against Apex and now against Echo Fox. Well, you're playing against, I believe, CLG coming up. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to play CLG. Last time we played against them, it was like, we felt like we got split pushed by Fiora, and I felt like we deserved that win. So I don't think they're that strong. Like, I think they play really well as, like, a team as 5, but individually, I think we can outclass them, I guess. Yeah, so I'm really excited for that match.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to see that. So I actually want to talk to you a little bit more about your team play. Obviously, the team, we talked a lot about it during the first few weeks. They really lacked decisive leadership, a hard go-in sort of player. Well, you've been playing Hecarim and Olaf. Got any insight into that?
Yeah, like, when teams start off, like, the biggest struggle most of the time is engage. So, like, normally I play champs like Kindred, Rek'Sai, but I was just like, what's the best way to engage Hecarim? So it'd probably give us our team, like, the best chance in engaging. But I think we're really good now, and we don't even rely on that stuff too much.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Inori. Congratulations on the victory. We're going to go ahead and toss it to the analyst desk to break that down.
Thank you very much, Dom. Phoenix1 picking up their second victory of the split here. Really interesting perspective there to hear from Inori, the fact that they're kind of looking at the second half of the split as its own split in and of itself. So, in a sense, erasing the previous troubles that they had from their minds, saying this is a new start for us. Let's see what we can do in the back half of this split.
I actually think it's a really interesting mindset, considering that most teams had a preseason where they're like boot camping in Korea or something, or at least practicing as a team, whereas P1 was really last minute put together. And so they didn't have a preseason, and then the roster that they put together isn't even the one they initially really wanted.
Right.
And so it really is fair to look at the first half of the season as your form of preseason, and now moving to the second half, it's the team you actually want with some practice now. And I think I initially said after a couple last week when they got their first win that I think they aren't actually like the bottom team anymore, and they can actually maybe make a push. And here they do the first step to proving that.
Exactly, and Inori has been a big part of that, Dyrus. I mean, we talk about roster swaps sometimes being the so important to a team finally coming to fruition. But here we've seen, as the weeks have gone on with Inori in, they seem to have a little bit more of a clue, to use a crude word to describe it, in their early game, just because he seemed to have a little bit better of an idea, as opposed to Sentinel, who preceded him, where to be on the map and to be able to match early aggression from other teams and keep them in it longer.
Right. And I've seen Inori in solo queue a lot in the past, so he's definitely a really good player. Probably really good team synergy for the team, and you know, it's never really too late to start, because if you never start, how are you going to get anywhere? You want to avoid relegation.
Exactly, and step one was today beating Echo Fox. They're now no longer in 10th place. They've got that game separation above Echo Fox. Of course, they are even in that head-to-head, so they're going to need to be able to keep that game separation if they want to avoid tiebreakers near the end of the split. But a very good start for them, and let's dive into this third game and break this one down. Champion Slight, I know that you felt very good about Phoenix1's draft here in Game 3.
Well, they basically get the exact same comp that they had before, but I like the order in which they do it, where they, Echo Fox doesn't really attack the draft that they just lost to. Like, none of their bans really target it, so they know that they can get the Hecarim again, the Azir, the Ashe, so you can get parts of it.
Talk about why do they get Azir? Why do they get Azir?
Yeah, because Froggen doesn't really prioritize it. He's played it one game where it was Vladimir that was early picked by the other team, and he last picks the Azir. Like, I guess I'll take this one.
Right.
It's really not a priority for Fox, so I think P1 knows that, and they early take the Ashe before everything else. And it looks like Fox is prioritizing Soraka over Braum now, so they think they can get the Braum as well, and the only thing they really need to give up is the Rek'Sai, which they're fine with because they're going to take the Hecarim again. And so I think it was a pretty intelligent draft from P1 to kind of like raise the priority on Ashe super high, but just for this series.
I mean, that's a cool adjustment that I think is specific to Best of Series, and the fact that we are playing Best of Series in the regular season kind of gives our teams the opportunities to flex those champion select muscles when it comes to looking towards playoffs. I mean, I'm sure you could speak to it, Dyrus, the difference between playing Best of Ones all split and then jumping into Best of 5 series and learning how to adjust your drafts. That could be very jarring. Here, they're getting the opportunity to do it week after week and learn how to adjust drafts specific to just the team you're playing against.
Right, because if we saw a best of one, we would have just saw Echo Fox just win the first game.
Yep.
But you could see that P1 made those adjustments, as Mark perfectly described, and that is what makes teams better.
Exactly, and we'll see if they can continue to do that moving into playoffs. I want to dive into the game itself. 14 minutes into the game, 1-0 for Phoenix1 on a turret dive here. So them, again, making more decisive early plays. We see them, you know, coming out on top of a few more of these dives than they were in the past.
And this is kind of the strength of the comp that also exists in Game 2, where it just can close a ton of distance so quickly. Ashe is still in River when she initiates that fight, and Hecarim's coming flying up the mid lane. He's able to follow up on that engage despite being so far away.
Right.
And the fact that they got the comp two times in a row, was very surprising in a sense, though Echo Fox did draft differently, a little bit more standard, no Talia and things like that.
No Talia, no disappointing Talia game. You know, of course, we move a little further into the game. We saw the Baron take by Phoenix1. It was kind of given over to them. It was a very interesting, oh, no one's around, let's just take it. So they picked that up, and we move ourselves forward.
That's kind of Baron.
So, yeah, right? It was like, I guess, wait, no one's going to stop us? All right, we'll keep going.
A 0-for-0 Baron.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to take a look at the game-winning fight just to roll that one out, put a capper on our 3-game series here that Phoenix1 took the victory in.
Right, so the Baron had come back up, and P1 was posturing around it, trying to fight for vision control, and they're just able to get a good flank onto Froggen here, who goes down, and the Zirsek from Pier in there was sick. He got 2 people, and from there, the game's over. I mean, they already had broken the inhibitor mid lane prior to that, so it was just a matter of grabbing that creep wave that was pretty much already there and pushing it through the game.
I want to look, well, actually, let's hit player of the game first. We'll hit player of the game first. We got to give it to Mash, 404 on the Ashe. Forced plenty of summoner spells using great arrows. I mean, we saw a successful arrow there on the turret dive. Even the ones that were missing, they were forcing summoner spells. So playing that utility carry to its fullest.
There was actually a time where Ashe's Hawk shot was shot towards Froggen in the bot lane, and what that did was it aggroed the creeps, which allowed his teammates to kill Froggen, and I've never seen a kill like that before, so it was really, really funny, really, really well played, and really well-used Hawk shot.
Yeah, the unassisted assist where he just provided vision at the right time after a Froggen solo kill. It's just like, oh.
Right, yeah, you don't actually get the gold for that assist, but you did effectively help your teammates pick up that kill. So with that, he gets player of the game. But now I want to talk about Phoenix1 real briefly looking forward. As Dom mentioned in the interview, they're playing CLG next. It's a struggling CLG. I know that in the back of everyone's heads, they're saying, well, but the day that CLG turns it back on, they're going to be a very strong team again. How does this, surging, might be too powerful of a word for Phoenix1. How does this, improving Phoenix1 match up against CLG in their next series?
Well, I think for me, it's a good test because P1 is clearly, for a little while, it was like P1's the worst team, then there's the other bottom teams. And here they've at least joined into that kind of bottom tier and maybe even gone a little bit past it.
Yeah.
And CLG is kind of, right now, the guardians of the bottom tier where they're struggling against a lot of top teams, but clearly beating the bottom one. So depending on how Phoenix1 looks against them, we'll have a better idea of, are they just more even with these other teams now, or are they actually starting to surpass them?
I think what it really is for CLG is that they're still pretty up there, but because of the vacation they took, they're in a slight slump where it isn't because they've gotten worse, it's just that every other team's improving so drastically with the meta that they can't catch up as fast because those other teams put a lot more time into Korean boot camp or training or whatever that may have happened for preparation, and now they're just trying their best to catch up while still being one of the better teams.
Looking forward to that matchup tomorrow. Now, real quick, we're going to toss you to some bonus coverage of NALCS 1. Team Liquid and Immortals locked into Game 1 of their series. Immortals out to an early lead, about 4K, 20 minutes in. We would expect no less out of them. Let's take a look.
Siege anymore. They've got no minions left. They've got no health bars.
The
2
last
for 0.
minion goes down there, and Immortals are going to be able to hold on to their turrets, but still, another couple kills here for Team Liquid, doing a lot for team morale. It's still not enough to get them back in this game, but it should be enough for them to at least try and get some ward control on their own side of the map at the very least.
And it's going to be the hope right now for Liquid because they've been on the back foot the entire time here, and it's always unfortunate when you see a team win a team fight, like 2 for 0, 2 for 1, and then nothing good actually happens for them afterwards because of how much damage is dealt back.
Yeah, and the gangplank here, Huni constantly coming in from the sides, barrel chains, not only taking out a significant amount of health from Team Liquid, but also destroying the minion waves so they can't pressure any objectives afterwards.
Right, you've got Sivir, this gangplank, and even Zillion's not completely terrible at it. It's honestly just hard to push. Fabi wasn't really watching. And now comes the wrist, manages to juke away from the stun, but here comes the Zillion. The double bomb not quite going to land, but the knockup is there for Rainover. That's going to mean the kill pretty easily. Couple of ultis and a teleport burn, but still, the champion is dead and Immortals have a power play.
This is what the top teams are doing so well right now.
And a smite steal.
Constant cross-map plays. Rainover's just going to... That is the worst feeling. Your own wolf spirit trailing you around, reminding you, hey, he just stole your camp. Hey, he just stole your camp. It's
exclamation point. Hey, this is theirs.
Listen, hey, listen.
Smite better. Press D to smite, Dardoch. It's in your name. Let's go.
Wasn't actually checking if he had it up there.
Except now, though. He's got to pretend it was always his fault. Ward's being cleared away. Much to the sadness of the fans here in this audience, as you can tell. Oh, get it. Yep.
Talked about those animation canceling skills from Dardoch.
What a madman.
Oh, man.
He pressed E against an immobile unit.
Whew. Uh-oh, Phoenix is on the chase here with Bobelter.
What a legend.
Yep.
Bobelter
Taught him a lesson.
Yep. Hey, here's some damage. You should pace yourself and get away. Okay.
So that lead extending to about 5K as we saw the pickoff on Fabi in the top lane there. But kind of hovering around that 5K gold lead, that's a place where Immortals is very comfortable to rest. I feel like it never even takes more than that for them to kind of have the green light to make crazy turret dives and really press their advantages in games.
Yeah, they often end up in this kind of like, we're ahead, in any moment we're going to blow this game open, and that's kind of where it feels right now. The kills are actually pretty equal, but they're a little ahead in objectives, and especially Farm with GP getting the extra gold, and him being up so far ahead of Lorlo was a huge part of that lead. Yeah, he's definitely going to be one of the key factors in IMT winning a lot faster because GP is just so strong. Like, he almost has IE in that game. So
I want to toss this to commercial, but I just a curiosity. Why is GP still getting picked up since the crit was taken off of Triforce?
So when you play GP, it isn't really about doing the crit build, but you can do the armor pen build.
Gotcha.
There's IE, Yomu's. Sometimes you go Maul against AP. You go Mortal Reminder or Giant Killer. Just mostly all the armor pen you can find, get up to 40% CDR or 45 depending on your mastery, and just like put as much damage into it because no matter what you do, if you hit that squishy, they're gonna get chunked. If you get that 20% crit chance, it's hilarious.
All right, okay, so it's just kind of readjusting the focus of the damage a little bit, but still very applicable. All right, well, now we've got that. That's still taking place over on NALCS 1. Remember, that's game 1 of that series. We're finished with the series over here on NALCS 2, but there's, of course, one more to go. Rejoin us on the other side of the break for our second match, Envy versus Counterlogic Gaming. We'll see you soon.
Wow, so many fans for you, Period. Your play is so many fans. I love you,
You are the Bjergsen of P1.
You're the faker P1. We'll just call you faker from now on.
Faker's overrated.
Through being proactive. We'll see if they can.
Oh,
nice
Froggen!
ulti.
Arrow to the face. He got baited in. Period on low. And Honori's going to try and take him out. Looks like the first blood does go to Gate. Gate, damage is still there. Looking for the last snipe on Empyrean, but they're going to protect him.
I love you, man. Hold my hand.
Yeah, no flash. Cats, no flash.
Nice.
I can't push in. I can't push in. I can't push in. Good job, guys. Front line. Hold mid. Nice.
Finish. GG.
And that is game. Phoenix 1 will take it 2-1 versus Echo Fox.